Uh, Hi, Shauna. Can we start?
Yeah, hi Minu. We are
Hi.
good to go.
Okay, sure. Okay. Those who are on unmute, please mute yourself. Okay. Okay, guys. So, hello everyone. How are you guys doing? So, welcome to week number 3, which is module number 2 that we are going to discuss. Before that, just wanted to know how is your preparation going on, like your learning path wise, your sessions wise, all this preparation. Good. Thumbs up or thumbs down? How is it going? You all are able to do your labs?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let me share my screen. Okay, now guys, we are going to start like what we are doing, simple superstore. Okay, the time when I will be explaining all these things, I request all of you to please be on mute. Okay, if there is any kind of question in between my explanation, please post that in the chat. Okay, I will be taking each and every question, even if I know the answer, even if I don't know the answer. But I request all of you to be on mute. Okay. One question is there. I have a question. Do I have to study with other resources in order to pass the exam? These lectures are definitely enough. With these lectures, you will get different, in the optional links, you will get different kind of Google recommended, like Google documentations. That will definitely be enough. Your learning path will be enough. But in this whole learning path, if you don't understand something, then definitely you can go back and search in Google and you can get some resources from there. But this will definitely be enough. Okay, you have to follow the exam guide which is given from Google site. Make sure that you are covering all the topics. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys. So I will now start. Now you can see here that this is week number 3, and in this we are going to do module number 2. Okay, so before that we got this company to us, and that is Symbol Superstore, and we have to basically plan and think of migration, right? So in context of this migration from on premises to Google Cloud, so those discussions, meetings, planning, those things are going on. Okay, now after planning we will help the client to configure their solutions. Okay, basically we will be translating their existing infrastructure into Google recommended practices. Something we will be suggesting some services which are equivalent, or it will be better. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. Now first we will first we will start with quiz. Okay, we will do some quiz question followed by provisioning of cloud solution on Symbol Superstore. Okay, so in Symbol Superstore they have three different type of application inside this particular company. Okay, and what application is for what purpose, what services they are using, so that we are going to have basically existing infrastructure. We have to understand what is their existing requirement, then only we can provide them Google Cloud solution, right? After that we will go in detail in for like cloud storage and cloud security. So these are the two services that we will be like walk through in a little bit in a deeper manner. Okay, and lastly we will do diagnostic questions, which are exam like questions. Okay, we will do some questions, and once you are able to access this particular deck after the session, I request all of you to complete all the diagnostic question and all the question from here from the quiz form also. Okay, so I hope our agenda is clear to all of you. First Symbol Superstore, then these two storage services. Okay, perfect. Now I will let me open my quiz. Let me just clear the form once again. Okay. So let's start, guys. Let's start with our quiz question first. Okay. Before that, let me check. Is there any question on the chat? Okay. Um, okay. Don't worry about the form and access related thing, guys. Um, Shaunak will be helping you with that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, guys. So I will now take a pause. You have to help me with the first question. Okay. And there will be three correct answers. Okay. Authorized network. Okay. So there will be three answers. So one of them I have got as authorized network machine type public IP APD, machine type storage BCD. Okay. I think B is common in all your answers. Machine type. Okay. Machine type yes. Except the storage type. Okay. I think authorized network is also common answer in all of your suggestions. So machine type, authorized network. What else is common? D is also common, storage type. So there is no math in this particular question. Okay, this is some set of rules from Google side. Okay, so we have to adhere to that rules. So these are the three things that you can change in the future, even if your instance is created, but you can't change the storage type. Okay, you in the next few slide when we will learn about cloud SQL, I will show you there is a like Google documentation and the list of all the options that are given, and there it is very clearly written that these are the different options that you can change after your instance creation, and these are the options you can't change. Okay, so remember about this thing that public IP, machine type, and authorized network. These are the options that we can change, but storage type definitely we can't change. Okay, all of you, perfect. Um, okay, let's do the second one. Now we have not studied about this one, so I'm not expecting any right answer, but maybe you can just give a random guess. SSD later at any point. Storage type will not be changed, so definitely that option you have to think at the very beginning. Okay, versioning. Okay, two answers. Retention policy AB. No, in this question you have only one correct answer. Okay, in this question there is one correct answer, and try to focus on providing the keyword also for those people who are not able to answer. It will definitely help them, and it will help you to identify the keyword, because in your exam you have to identify the right keyword to give the answer. So what is the keyword here, all of you? Written A, B, retention policy is A. Okay, so which of the below is correct for the scenario when you want to prevent individual objects from being deleted or overridden? So this can be your keyword, like your like this phase. How do we know how many correct answers? First of all, in your exam, if it is a multiple choice question, then you will have to select only one, like this or this or this. If it is a multiple select question like this, then it will be written that select two correct answer, like that. So you will know how many answer you have to tick mark. So don't worry about that. Okay. So I am In all your answers, definitely I think that object replica is not the one that you all are going for. So definitely we can eliminate object replicas because it is for replica and that is not the requirement, right? Then we have retention policy, object versioning, and object hold. Now here it is saying that they want to prevent the object from being deleted or overwritten. So something related to modification, they are preventing the modification, right? So definitely object versioning will not be the correct one because object versioning is basically restoring the objects that are overwritten or deleted. Like it is like a GitHub repository. So it maintains the live and non-concurrent version of any object like 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, like that. So basically whatever modification you are doing, it is keeping the track of it. The question is about not doing the modification. So object versioning is also now eliminated. Now retention policy and object hold. Okay, retention policy and object hold, both of them help us to prevent the modification and deletion of any object. But retention policy worked at a bucket level and object hold work at an individual object level. Okay, so retention is about modification of the object in the bucket for a specific period of time whenever they are uploaded. So whatever time frame you have given for retention policy, according to that it will work for the entire bucket. Here it is for individual objects, so I can say it will be object hold, all of you. Okay, any confusion on this particular part? Understood how we eliminated the two answer? Okay, perfect. Retention policy is about, like, in any bucket, if you give any retention policy, for example for 2 days, so then nobody can edit anything, nobody can delete, modify all the objects inside your bucket. So retention policy works for bucket, object hold works for the object. Okay, so basically for compliance perspective, for security perspective, this is used. Okay, perfect. And don't worry, we are going to discuss this. Okay. Yeah, let's take this third question. And you all have to help me with the keyword also, guys. Please try to give the keyword. Try to answer in that context. Okay, it will help others also. A, okay, spanner. Global availability, low latency. Yes, this is your keyword. Spanner. Anyone else think that there is any other answer? Okay, I think there is no confusion in this one. Okay, someone has given the keyword also, which is global availability and low latency. Okay, definitely, guys, this will be spanner. If you don't have this particular keyword, global availability, low latency, if only this is your question, migrate their e-commerce to relational backend, then you can say that it can be Cloud SQL. But they want it to be globally available, and for that we have Cloud Spanner. So I think there is no confusion at your side also. All of you are saying Cloud Spanner, which is absolutely correct. Okay. Okay, this we will discuss. Cloud SQL is regional. Yeah, it is. I think it is regional or it is multi-regional also, but it is not global. Okay. One question I want to, yes, this I want to talk because we are going to discuss this in the session also. This is related to your cloud storage. Standard. Option D. Okay, I think D and C. Okay, so before answering this question, let me just give you a small overview. So in cloud storage, we have different classes. Okay, there are four type of classes, and depending upon the user's requirement, they can choose the kind of class they want. Okay, one is standard. When you want to frequently use your data, then in cloud storage you choose standard class because you want to frequently use your data. Okay, then if it is 1 month, like you are monthly using your data monthly, then it is nearline. 3 month or a quarter, then cold line, and 1 year, then archive. So this is the bifurcation that is done for the cloud storage classes. Okay, now you have got this overview. Now all of you try to answer this, those who have not tried this question. Okay, so what is the requirement? Access not more than once a month, so monthly access, and then not needed after 5 years. So if I say that not like monthly access, so first part of the question is monthly access, definitely this will be eliminated and this will be eliminated because they are standard. Nearline is for monthly, so I will go for this one or this one. Second part, not needed after 5 years. Then why you will change the policy to cold line? Because cold line is for 3 months. Maybe you can just define a life cycle, provide them a condition that once this work is done, and nearline after 1 month, once your activity is done after 1 month, there should be a life cycle policy to just simply delete that object. Okay, so in that case, combining part 1 and part 2, you can say nearline class and then life cycle policy to delete after 5 years. Are we good, guys, on this? Perfect. Okay, and don't worry, we are anyways going to discuss. Would it would have been better to move it to archive once access, but then so we will discuss about this. But then all these classes have different kind of charges attached to it. Okay, there are different charges as per the classes, as per the region that you are choosing. So you will be then if it is an archive, then you have to pay like some amount for that, and you are not needing that, you don't need that, then why you will pay for it, right? But yeah, definitely if you want to have some kind of backup for future perspective, then you can keep it in archive also. Okay, nearline to archive to delete. uh you can do, definitely you can do that depends upon you. If as per this question, definitely if it is not needed, then simply delete it. But in real life project, you want to work in that way, you can do it. Okay, but for safety purpose, you want to keep it in archive, then you can give it. But yeah, archive is for 1 year, and then there will be some charges to it. Charges for storing also, charges for accessing also. So that is why, as per this question, deleting will be better. Okay, how long does GCP keep nearline data? GCP will keep all your data. Okay, it is you who is accessing once in a month. GCP will keep all your data, like, and you will get like you have to pay for some charges for that. They will not delete your data. Okay, compared to our no whatever classes you are choosing, data will be there. Okay, keeping your data, there is no comparison in keeping the data will always be there in all the classes. Okay, but you will be accessing that data, it is like that. Okay, nearline is more expensive in that case when we are compared to archive, yes, and standard will be more expensive. Can the archive duration be extended from 1 to 5 years? um I think we can do it. We will check that. Okay, in cloud storage, once when we'll do that, we'll check that. Okay, 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 guys, so let's take this question. D. So multi-petabyte database for analyst who knows SQL, database has to be available for 24 into 7. B. So B, C, and D. Definitely not A. Eliminate cloud storage. Okay. B or D. Firebase is also NoSQL. So definitely eliminating Firebase and cloud storage here. Now the confusion is between BigQuery and Cloud SQL. Okay. Definitely, Cloud SQL is also, like, the keyword is also same for both of them. Cloud, NoSQL, 24 into 7 database, all of this. But Cloud SQL is for transactional workload. BigQuery is for analytical workload. Okay, so if you get this kind of question, like there are some analysts who want to analyze it, data analyst, analysis purpose, okay, then definitely it will be BigQuery. Okay, so any kind of analysis you are doing on some historic data, then BigQuery will be the correct one. And here this is your keyword. Okay, all of you, BigQuery is the correct answer here. If it is not analysis work, then definitely Cloud SQL will be the correct one. Okay, but this is the different. Cloud SQL for transactional, BigQuery for analytical workload. Perfect. Okay, this is like related to IAM. D. Okay, I think there is no confusion here. All of you are going with organization viewer and project viewer. Okay, I think there is no explanation needed. Absolutely correct. Because some kind of visibility we need across the like across the project. Definitely organization level will be given, but they are just auditors. They will be just viewing it. So organization viewer and project viewer. Definitely not project owner, definitely not network admin, definitely not organization admin. Option D will be correct. Okay, perfect. Okay, what is the cheapest per byte storage offered by Google? C. Mm, Mixed answers. B and D. D. Cloud storage. Okay, before that, I got one question on the chat. Organization viewer will be only required as project viewer can be inherited. Yes, in this case, it can be inherited, but like in a normal scenario, you may want to give organization viewer, then maybe project editor or any kind of role. So that we are doing, but yes, definitely organization viewer will be inherited. Like project viewer will be inherited from organization. Okay, so I think B and D. Okay, now there is no math here also. From Google site, cloud storage is the cheapest one. Okay, so in any kind of scenario, in any like question or real time project, if it is about budget, like you're tight on budget constant, go for cloud storage because this is the cheapest one. And apart from after that, BigQuery is also cheapest, but the most cheapest is cloud storage. Firestore is also cheapest, definitely, but not the cheapest. Okay, so yeah, this is from Google side. So cloud storage is the cheapest one, like in GCP. More of unstructured data type. Yes, cloud storage is unstructured. You store any files, videos, all of that unstructured, just like a folder, okay, that you have in your computer. Okay, come on, now tell me this one, guys. Regulations require encrypting the data at rest. Which cloud services can be used? Same as Firestore. Yeah, same as Firestore. Sorry, Firebase is uh it's a Google backed service. Firebase is for creating some mobile application. Mm, to store media and files, yes. I think you're talking about Firestore. Okay. Yeah, so cloud storage is for storing files and everything. In the Firebase, if you have that option, I'm not really sure about Firebase because it is a mobile and application development uh, website. Maybe there you have discovered that, then okay. I have not explored Firebase so much. Okay, now coming to this question, someone said that they have not understood this particular question. Now, see, regulations, as in client or anyone, they requiring encrypting the data at rest also. So even if, so, your data can be either at rest, your data can either be at transit, like transferring the data from here to here, or storing the data here or here anyway. Okay, so in both the scenario, you have to make sure that your data is encrypted. Okay, so here they are saying that if my data is at rest, how, we have to encrypt it. So how can we do, in which service we can do that? Okay, and I think all of you are going ahead with option B, which is any GCP storage service, which is absolutely correct. Okay, so whether the data is at rest or at transit, it will always be encrypted in any kind of any storage service in GCP. And talking in a more generic way, in GCP, anyways, whatever you are doing with your data is already encrypted. Okay, so you don't have to choose a specific service to encrypt your data, whether at rest or at transit. Okay, all of you clear? I hope the question is clear. Okay, perfect. Okay, now this one I have already told you, so I want a correct answer for this particular question from all of you. How can you see the encrypted data? Google will give you encryption and decryption key that you can use. Also, you can have your own customer manage encryption key, and with the help of that also you can do. It is just like a lock thing that you have. Okay, in your own phone you have a lock, you are managing your lock like that. Okay, so for this question, I am getting the answer as cold line. Yes, because you are accessing it in a quarter. Okay, perfect, guys. All of you are absolutely correct. Okay, let's take this question. So this is your keyword, latency of request. Trace. Okay. Okay, so trace. Profiler, I think definitely not CND, because that is, I mean, I'm not seeing CND, so definitely we can eliminate CND. Debugger and error reporting. Okay, so debugger is to debug your code. So anything with respect to code, like why my code, like where my code is failing, where it is stopping. So debugger. Okay, error reporting, like it gives you the error that is produced when you are running the services. So definitely that is not the concern in this question. So debugger and error reporting eliminated. Now we have profiler and trace. Now remember guys, profiler is for CPU usage, CPU utilization, memory allocation, all these information you want to get, then you can go for profiler. Trace is that operational suite basically for any kind of delay or slow response, latency. If these are your keyword, then you can go for trace. Okay, so delay, slow response, all these keyword. So all of you are absolutely correct in this. Okay, perfect. Mm, okay, this question, yeah, this question I want to talk, and then we will move to the next part. So maybe you don't know about transfer appliance and storage, but you know about this thing, this the second part of the question. Based on that, first you eliminate the wrong one. Okay, C, C, A, or C. A, C or A. Okay, so data will be frequently accessed, frequently. So we can eliminate near line, we can eliminate cold line. We can go for this standard or this standard. So this is clear, A or C. Now, one way, one time, and 100 TB file server. So that is your keyword, 100 TB of file. So first of all, standard like storage transfer service is the recommended one from Google site, which 95% of the time you will be using it. It is for the sufficient bandwidth. It is for a large amount of data. But if you have very low bandwidth or very low data, like 10 to 15 TB of data, but low bandwidth, you have less bandwidth, then you will go for transfer appliance. Here, there is no such thing like that. So we can say that storage transfer service, and then stands for the cloud storage standard bucket. Okay, all of you understood why we are choosing storage? Because there is no like a bandwidth issue, and there is a large amount of data. If you have low bandwidth with some like small amount of data, then go for transfer appliance. It would be low cost compared to transfer appliance. Okay, not sure about the cost, but recommended one definitely from Google site. Okay, but if you say so, then definitely difference in both. Yeah, this is the difference. If you have low bandwidth, then transfer appliance. If you have great bandwidth to transfer this amount of data, then storage transfer service. Okay, are we good guys on this question? Shall we move ahead? Okay. What's bandwidth? Bandwidth means like, you know, how much, like for example, like if I have great bandwidth, then it will be great speed for me to, you know, very quickly I can transfer my data. Okay, that is your bandwidth. So if your speed is less, then it will, yeah, transfer quickly. Yes, that is the thing. Okay, one thing I want to discuss. Where is that question? Yeah, this I want to discuss. Then we will move to our next section. So you have defined some retention policy. Okay. After that, you have also logged that with this particular command. So you have logged the retention policy that you have created. And now you want to modify something in the bucket. Okay. You need to modify from the bucket that did not expire and you are getting some error. How much larger TB data is recommended for transfer appliance? Like 10 to 15 TB. Yeah, 10 to 100 or this one. Option number C, you can't remove the object until the expiration policy. Okay. Now there are two things. One is retention policy. If you add some policy, anyways, anyone can't access your bucket or they can't do anything modification. That is the meaning of retention policy. Okay. But if I go and create some retention policy later on tomorrow, I want to edit that retention policy, I can definitely do it. Okay. But if I log that, then I can't edit my retention policy whatever I have created. That is the meaning of lock. It is like a double lock. On the top of retention policy, you have logged it, so that in a real time project, anyone from other department or anyone who, they by mistake also, they don't delete the retention policy or they don't do anything in the object. So that is the meaning of locking your retention policy. So if you do that, then it is like a irreversible thing. So you can't remove anything in the object until that expiration policy is done. And when we will study about bucket in the next few slides, I will show you about this thing also. So if you have logged it, then you have to wait for the expiration policy, and that is the meaning of it. A lot of you are saying option number A. See, if you can do this manually, if you have logged it and later on manually you can remove the lock and update the policy, then what is the meaning of lock? If removing the lock would be so easy, then why would we would have this option? Okay. But if it was a mistake, I need to access this, can we do it? No, you can't do it. So that is the meaning of lock. Nobody can do it until it reaches their expiration policy. So understood everyone why we are not selecting option A? Okay. They like, we can't do it. If we can do it, then why lock is there? Why we will do a lock thing in the retention policy, right? So you have to wait for the expiration policy, like it has to expire, then you can do something. And by mistake you can't lock it. Okay, someone is saying that by mistake if you lock it, once you create a retention policy, later on you click on the lock button by mistake, it will give a pop-up to you, and then you have to say that I want to lock it, then you lock it. So it's not a button that you by mistake click and it got locked. It's not like that. You can't be yeah, you have to be sure in order to lock it. You by mistake you can't do it. Okay, and I will show you later on. Okay. Okay, I think this particular session was very interactive. Great, guys. And I think all of you are pretty much very, like, all the answers are almost correct. So kudos to all of you. You can just clap for yourself. Okay, great. Any question, anyone? We can, you definitely, you will pass the exam, and you will pass the exam in the first go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, anyone, any question before we move to the next part? Okay, let's go. Let's discuss about Symbol Superstore. Then let's discuss about cloud storage and cloud SQL. Now you know that we are right now evaluating Symbol Superstore existing application. Once you get the idea of their existing application, then you will plan and configure, right? So what is the next step here? You can see here that you have to plan for the estimate, for the budget, using the pricing calculator. You have to plan and see what kind of compute resources they are using, data storage, network resources, all these things, right? In the compute options, what kind of application they are creating, whether it is a normal virtual machine, whether it is a containerized application, right? What kind of resources they are using, whether they are right now they are using and managing everything on your own, whether they want to move to cloud, they want to have a serverless approach, because if they go for that, then they will it will reduce their manual effort. Google will take care what kind of flexibility they want, right, in their application, whether they want a platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, software as a service. Depending upon their, they have to think about their pricing, right? If pricing, if they are like very tight on the pricing, then according to that we can suggest different options, right? So in compute also different options are there, and you have to help them with that. Similarly with data storage, what kind of what kind of data it is, whether it is a structured data, it is a unstructured data, whether they want to go for some transactional workload or some analytical workload, right? So you can accordingly say that you can go for cloud SQL for relational, you can go for cloud storage when you have unstructured data, right? Similarly, we saw in the question quiz that BigQuery for analytical, cloud SQL for transactional, right? What kind of activity they are doing with their database, depending upon that, right? If they have like in networking, if they have a application which is globally available, so definitely they require access to the internet, they have to talk to their backend server with the private internet, like that. If it is exposed to the outside world, then definitely they will have some HTTP load balancer, they have to have some kind of firewall. So it will, there will be different layers in different aspect, computing, database, networking, all of that, right? So you are right now understanding about the existing infrastructure. Okay. Now this is their existing application. Okay. You can see here e-commerce, transportation application, and supply chain. Okay. So this is the scenario. In the e-commerce, you can see in the compute, they have container architecture, right? And what do you think, guys? What service do we have for container architecture? Anyone? GKE? Absolutely. So we understood that they are not working on a normal virtual machine. They have containerized application. And definitely we can offer them GKE, which is definitely globally available, low latency, and it works on container, right? Then you have transportation application in which they have their truck location, and that truck location is going on different places, and basically we are tracking the bus, we are tracking the truck, and that truck have different kind of items to it. So definitely we need some kind of messaging service to get the message, and that messaging service will monitor their truck location, their delivery status, their mileage, their like maintenance also. So all those things someone has to track, and someone has to inform me who is sitting here about the truck location, then I can update my system, right? And then they have supply chain, and supply chain also have some existing architecture, like you can see here, lamp stack. So they are very particular that they want to have a Linux operating system, they want to have Apache servers, SQL server, and PHP. That is your lamp stack. Okay, Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. So what we are understanding is that they have a specific requirement, and which service is the best one when you are very particular about your machine configuration. What do you think, guys? Engine, which one? When you are very particular about your compute engine? Absolutely correct. Yes, this is the answer I was looking for. So, according to their current scenario, you are giving them this thing. So, understood everyone related to the existing application about these three? We will be translating this in the next few slides, but at least like existing is clear to all of you. Okay. So this is the first one. Now we got to know that there is some container architecture, and they have some relational backend. They needs to be globally available, and they have to perform some uh, analytical capabilities, right? So we can suggest them that for container you can go for GKE, right? Because this is an e-commerce application, then definitely relational backend has to be globally available. We can say it can be Spanner. If it is not global, then definitely Cloud SQL. But because it is e-commerce, we can say it is Spanner because it is low latency, globally available, right? It definitely we need an HTTP load balancer. And for analytical capabilities on some historic data, like historic data of some purchase, some sale, like that, we can say you can go for BigQuery, right? So this is like a random, like a rough overview we can give to them. Okay, definitely if there is any further layer added to it, then we can change it also later on. GKE, BigQuery and Spanner, yeah, definitely. So this is what we can suggest them. Okay. Similarly with transportation application, they have to track their like buses. Okay, so basically some kind of trigger activity we have to do, right? Cloud function is a service that will help you with some trigger activity. You can do some, write some function, and according to that, whatever function you are writing, it will give you some trigger. So we have to get some data, some sensor data from the truck. That we can say that pubs up will get the sensor data from the truck. It will give it to cloud function, cloud function. Okay, so from PubSub you are getting the data to cloud function, and it will trigger their function according to the data that it has got. Now you have got a raw data. You can use data flow to transform that data from a raw data to some specific format according to your need, right? After that, maybe for some storage perspective or some analytical perspective, you can think of BigQuery for analysis, or you can also think of big table for analysis. Now all of you focus here. For analytical like analysis on historic data, we go for BigQuery, and analysis on real time data, we can go for big table also. So they, depending upon the kind of data you are receiving, you can choose either of the options. Okay, you have got your data, you are doing some analysis, maybe you want to visualize it to any visualization tool that we have in cloud. You can think of Looker. So from PubSub you are getting the data, then cloud function, then data flow, transformational, then BigQuery or big table, then Looker. Okay. Why? Because the structure is created in that way. Okay, in BigQuery you get, it is a warehouse. Okay, so warehouse means a large amount of data but in a specific format, so we can query it. So that's why historic data. So this is that thing from Google side. Okay, so this is the kind of solution we can give to them, right? And definitely this solution will, definitely it can change later on, but as of now, what, as a cloud engineer, what we can think, this is the solution we can give, right? Similarly with supply chain, you know that they have a very specific or machine configuration. That's why we are suggesting them for compute engine. And all of you remember, in a like normal scenario, whenever you are migrating any application or any infrastructure from on premises to cloud, first you choose compute engine, you like migrate it, and later on according to your need, like serverless or manage or stateless, you shift to any other service, but this is the best way. Okay, so specific configuration, we have uh, compute engine. Okay, now in this compute engine you can go for cloud SQL, and in the SQL you can choose anything like MySQL or SQL Server, anything like that. And they have to talk to the backend database, so some internal VPC and some HTTP load balancer. Okay, is there some PubSub service for Google? So PubSub is a service. Yeah, that is the name of the service, PubSub, a messaging service. Okay. Okay guys, so this is about your cloud, this is about your symbol superstore. Okay, I hope this is clear, like how we configured their existing requirement to cloud. Are we good with that? Okay, perfect. Now let's switch our topic to cloud storage. You know that it is a managed service for some unstructured data, any kind of files, videos, document, anything you want to store, you store it over here. Okay. Now, that is the definition of it, but it's not only about that. How you are storing that data, when you are accessing that data, all these things also comes into picture. Okay, all of you know about retention policy. Okay, if you apply this, then nobody can change anything in the bucket. Okay, object hold is for individual bucket, object versioning for some automatic backup, basically the previous version of the object, okay, which is not used but it is still maintaining it. Object life cycle is depending upon the kind of usage. Now you know that this particular data I want to use it for like daily purpose for 6 months. After that I will not use it, then you will change the storage class from this to that. That is the life cycle. Okay, ACL is, you can just think of it like a cloud IAM. Okay, cloud IAM is at organization level. ACL is at cloud storage level. Okay, all of you. Object is immutable. You can't change anything in that. Next is object change notification. Basically, whatever change you are doing in the, like in the object modification, updated, added, deleted, then there will be a new picture. Someone from the other team will be notified immediately. That is object change notification. Next is resumable upload. Basically, whenever you are uploading some data, transferring some data, due to some reason it got interrupted. So later on, you can resume from the place where it got interrupted. You don't have to start from the scratch, from the very beginning. Okay, so that is your resumable upload. Okay. Data will be strongly consistent. Definitely, you accept the cache object, and then there are different storage classes. I will show you in the console, don't worry. And there are different kind of triggers. Okay, and those trigger can be uh, like integrated with your cloud function. Okay, whatever activity you are doing, you can define a function, and according to that, you can other people can get notified. What do you mean by object? Object, yeah, it is a kind of files. So whatever files are there, they are object. Okay. Last thing I want to say is Google manage encryption key or customer manage encryption key. So whatever data you are uploading, you want to encrypt it, you can have your own encryption key. Like for some companies, they have very security concern. They, for that they use their own key, but Google also have their own key. Okay. Now I will quickly move to cloud storage here. So first I will, so if the object is 1 MB, 1 byte is to be changed inside of new object will be created, right? Old object will be versioning. If it is, yes, versioning is on, then it will be. Okay, so this is my file. Okay, this is multi-regional. Okay, this is how can you store your file. Now this is the type of classes. Okay, you can choose any type of class. And auto class is one thing which is newly introduced from Google side. Basically, it automatically manages, it automatically transfer from this class to that class according to your object level activity. So right now you are not taking care of this one. You are not thinking that I need it for a month, then nearline, I need it for a year, then archive. Not like that. Okay, so you can do it on your own, but Google have this thing also. Okay, so this is one thing. And this is, yeah, whenever you are creating your own, like whenever you're creating a bucket, right now I'm creating my bucket, or you can say folder. Okay, that time I can go for soft delete, retention policy, object versioning, all these things, retention for compliance and data encryption, like according to my need. Okay, now I already have some bucket which is already created. Okay, and I'm just randomly opening, suppose third one. Okay, in this bucket, this is the object, this is a CSV file. Configuration, so you can see all the configuration. Then permission, public access, it is not public. Access control, okay, whatever kind of access you want to give. So click on grant access, give their permission, whatever role you want to give, you can give. Then protection, okay, in this you can see versioning is automatically on. Okay, the retention policy is also on. Okay, so earlier what was the thing, that if you have object versioning on, then you can't apply retention policy and vice versa. But now Google says that okay, you can do both of them together. So here versioning is also on, some retention policy is also done, I can still edit it. Okay, yeah, so these are some of the things that are there. Here in the life cycle, right now there is no life cycle rule. I can set any kind of rule, like for example, set storage like storage class to nearline. For example, this is what I want to do, but based on what condition? It can be age, like after, for example, if it reaches 67 days, or it can be, I can do anything if it is created before, or if it matches nearline. It can be anything like that, and just click on create. So this way I can create my life cycle rule. Okay, can we host static website in bucket like AWS S3? I think with the help of load balancer you can do. Okay, 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 guys, everyone clear about this thing, cloud bucket? Yeah, one thing I wanted to show related to that lock thing, which we discussed in the question. Protection. So I'm setting a, this is my duration. For example, I want this, like 3 seconds is my duration for my retention policy. If I click on save, now it is done. Now someone has said that by mistake if you lock it. So if I click on this lock, then I have to give this thing like confirm that I want to lock this. Okay, then I have to confirm it, then click on the lock, and you can see this action is permanent. Okay, so it will prevent destruction of any version. So basically you can't do anything once you lock it. But right now I have not logged it. I can edit it, I can delete it. Okay, clear about this thing, cloud like features of your cloud storage, right? And you all have seen that when I was trying to create a bucket, I get regional, multi-regional, dual regional. Regional for your high performance, right? Because it in a single region. Multi-regional when your customer is across a particular region, it is widely spread. Dual region you can think of whenever you want to just create some backup for some kind of disaster recovery. Okay. Okay. Now storage classes, all of you understood about this one, that these are the different use cases. Whenever these are the use cases, according to that you can choose. This is auto class, which we just now saw, newly introduced from Google side. Basically, Google will take care of this thing. Okay. Now talking about different storage classes, it is how often you are using it, how long you are using it. Based on these two criteria, your pricing will change. Okay. Let me just open a link for all of you. Later on, you can check it out. So here all the pricing is given. Okay, depending upon the region, dual region, multi-region, everything is given for all the classes that you are using. So remember about this thing, that how often you use it, how long you use it. Okay, accessing the data will also have some charges. Okay. Now this is related to one question that we saw. So you know that whenever you have some existing data, you are not creating any bucket or any storage type here. You already have it somewhere. You are moving it to cloud. Okay. So 95% of the time storage transfer. You have GS util also when it is a very less data, like less than 1 TB of data, then you can use GS util command, simply transferring from your private data center to cloud. Okay. And you can see here, if you have not enough bandwidth, then transfer appliance. So this is the way you can transfer your data from outside to cloud. Okay. Any confusion till here, guys, whatever we have discussed? See, this is a theory thing, so it's not so much into, like, we don't have to explain so much. There are certain rules that are created by Google, so we have to just follow it. So it's like a theoretical thing. Okay. Okay, so I think we are done with cloud storage. I am just, let me check if anything is left here. I think we have covered all. Okay, observability. Yeah, with respect to the like the deck, we have understood everything. Great. Now let's move to Cloud SQL. Okay, now Cloud SQL is fully managed relational database. Okay, in this we have PostgreSQL, MySQL, and SQL Server. Okay, now you understood that this is a fully managed. Okay, so you don't have to take care about the scaling and all of that. In the middle of the night, your database is full and you have to rescale it 3 a.m. Those things you don't have to do because it is completely managed. But you should also know that what is an unmanaged database. You can see here, hardware and networking is only managed by Google. If you are selecting a self-managed database, other activities you have to do it on yourself. So definitely, in general, Google does not recommend you to go for self-managed thing, whether it is a self-managed computing thing or whether it is self-managed database thing. Because if you want to manage it, then why you are moving it to cloud, right? But sometimes due to some flexibility constraint, you want to take care of this thing at your own, definitely you can go for this one. But this is a self-managed one. Okay, so all the things you have to take care of. But in the managed one, you can see here, everything will be taken care by Google. You only have to focus on your application development, on your workload, on your service, on your data, all those things. Management part will be offloaded to Google, right? So this is how your Cloud SQL work. This is how your Spanner, Bigtable, all the managed service work. Okay, so 90% of your operational effort will be reduced if you go for managed. How can I access the recorded videos? You in the email you have got a drive link, and in that drive link this deck will be shared and this recording will be shared once it is done. Okay, so you will have access to that. Now Cloud SQL, how can you make it high available? You have to just tick mark the multi-region thing, then you can make it as highly available. So let me just open my Cloud SQL here. I'm creating an instance. I'm choosing this one. Whatever I want to choose, I'm just showing this thing. So it is a zonal service. Okay, in the single zone, if you select, then okay. But how to make it highly available? You have to select this one, multiple zone, and you have to specify what will be your primary zone, what will be your secondary zone, like that. Okay, so you can make your instance as highly available once you choose a regional one. Okay. Now coming to read replicas. Okay, now in a normal scenario, whenever you, it can be a scenario that there has some kind of disaster has happened and your whole region or whole zone has corrupted. So for that kind of scenario, for disaster recovery, read replica has come into picture. Okay, but because these things are already taken care by Google, so normally read replica are not only for disaster recovery. It can also be for some scenario when some other people, like for example your auditor, anyone who is just accessing, just viewing your data, they want to just access it, not doing anything on the top of your data that time, and maybe they are sitting on some on premises or any other region, then also you can create a read replicas. Okay, so it is not only about DR, it is also about offloading some work. Okay, and you can see here, this is your primary region. and you can create a read replica in another region. You can also create a read replica on premises. Okay, so if I go back to my instances, this is already created. I click on my instance and I click on replica. I can just click on create replica, and rest everything will be same like you create a normal instance. Okay, so you can create a read replica for some backup purpose, or you can say for some offloading analytical workload or any kind of workload. Okay, you can also see that your main primary instance is on premises. You are creating a read replica in the cloud the other way. Okay, and similarly in this one also. So this way you have your primary instance can be anywhere. You can just offload and you can work on it. So basically for this kind of thing you can create read replicas. Okay, next thing you can see is DMS, which is database migration service. So data migration service means some data is there on premises, you have to migrate it to cloud. You can do that. Okay, and this is what the previous one was talking about. So your main thing is here, main primary instance. Transferring it to cloud is your data management service. Okay, what is meant by focus on replicating from external server? Where it is written? Previous slide. Okay, I'll go back and explain you. Okay, I'll go back. Before that, let me explain this one. So this is the thing from Google side. This is the you can say it is the easiest option. You know, when you have your data somewhere and you want to shift over here, whenever you are migrating from the on premises to the cloud, both of them will be synchronized, and it will definitely help you because it's like copy and paste, not cut and paste. So it is very suitable. Okay, and any kind of like in the clouds you can choose any option like MySQL, PostgreSQL, any kind of database, and you can just transfer your data from on premises to cloud. This is the easiest and the nearest fully automatic thing. And this particular like picture you can see here, you just search DMS in the cloud, and you have to just give your source, your destination, connectivity method. So basically some click activity you are doing, and you can very easily migrate your data. Okay, okay, now coming to this one, let me show you replicating your data from external server. How you can do it? If you have some external server somewhere, you want to replicate it to cloud, how you can do it? Like for example, migrating your data self-managed to cloud, minimum downtime. So basically the steps is given over here. Okay, so this is what the exam tip was talking about, and this is Google official documentation. Okay, replicating from external server. Okay, this we have done. Okay, now this is what the first question was about. Okay, in the quiz form, like what are the different options that you can edit after your instance is created? So you can see here instance ID, modification after creation, no, region, no. So all the list of all the options are given. Okay, zone, yes, database, no. So you can just have a look at this one. You should know that which are the options you can change later on also, which are the options you can't change. And the link is already given over here. But I will still give you all. Maybe you want to check it out. Storage transfer server will not work for database migration. No, it will work. See, let me just search data migration. See, database migration. One second. Okay, you are just creating a migration job here. So this is also thing. One second. Yes, so this is also one such thing when you have some read replica kind of thing. So that also you can do, or complete data transfer, then definitely storage transfer service. This is like a some small amount of data, like a copy and paste. So you are, it is just like a creating a read replica. Okay, okay, let me go back. Mm. One second. Here you can see migrate database. So you can create a migration job. It will take you here only. Okay. Okay. I think what is left. Okay. Yeah. These are some of the things that is left. Now performance and scaling. Okay. If you want to resize your database and automatically you want to do it, like unless it is a disk, then you can just enable this option. You can see here, enable automatic storage increase. So the size of the disk can be increased automatically. You don't have to manage it, but definitely it will not decrease. Okay. So if you enable this while you're creating your instance, then this will be taken care. Let's go back and show you. Create instance, configure, not this one, storage. See this one. If enabled, whenever you are nearing capacity, your capacity is almost full, then it will incrementally change it. So incremental will be done. It will be increased, definitely not decreased. Okay. For performance perspective, this is the thing you can enable. Okay. And all these things, definitely you can choose like machine type, higher one, HDD, higher CPU, higher storage. Definitely you can do it. Okay. Backup. Let me go to data protection. Yes, so in the data protection, you can see automated backup. Okay, so daily backup will be taken in the window that you have given. Okay, and then enable point in time. Now, for a specific point of time, like just like a screenshot or snapshot, if you want to do that, that also you can do. So that will be enabled. So if I select this one, then I have to, so this is already enabled, but you can enable and disable it. How much it will be increased? It will be, that is not specified here, but what I can understand is that it will be like 70%, you need to have at least 30% free so that your performance is not impacted. That will be taken care by Google. Okay. What type of backup? Full, incremental, or differential? I think it will be full. Where is that option? Yeah, this is the one. That is exactly actually not mentioned, but I think fully backup will be taken. Okay, so this is what you can do it to protect your data. Okay, so one is binary logging, which is point in time recovery, and another is your backup. Okay. Yes, this is what we have just now saw. This one is there. I think because I have chosen some other option, that is why it is already enabled, but otherwise you have to enable it on your own. Also full backup. Snapshot in Compute Engine. Snapshot is, yes, it is a full backup of that particular instance. That particular instance. Okay, like what is happening right now on that particular database, that is your snapshot. So I think it will be full only. Okay, next is data export. So we understood about data backup when you want to back up your data, but if you want to just export it to some other place or another person, people, another team, then you can have a data export option. So basically you are exporting your data and what kind of format you want to have, you can give it. Okay, so this is about your Cloud SQL. Let me see if the export option is there. This is my instance. Yeah, this is export. So I'm exporting it to some other database or anything like that. Okay, so this is about Cloud SQL. Any confusion, anyone? So we have wrapped up this topic. So this both the topics were actually very theoretical. You have to explore more when you go and just create some instance there. But yeah, in a nutshell, these are the topics that I wanted to discuss. Any confusion here, anyone? No confusion? Perfect. Then let's do some questions very quickly. How the costing will affect due to full backup. Uh, Costing I have not checked. Let me, like for example, where is the, see, whatever you are doing, like for example, creating a read replica or anything like that, you will get the pricing in the right hand side. So according to that, you can choose whatever, like for example, single zone, then it will be different cost. Multiple zone, you can see it will be different cost, like that. So pricing will definitely change. Okay, according to the kind of backup that you are using. Data protection, where is that option? Okay, I'm not finding that, but yeah, in the right hand side you will see the pricing. Okay. Okay, now I will take a pause. We'll quickly discuss about this, how you can have a point in time recovery in this scenario. Anyone? B. So first of all, cloud spanner we will eliminate definitely, because it is for global and here we have one geographical location. Okay. Now between A and B. So A is to enable a binary logging. Okay. Then B is about creating a failover read replica. Okay. Now whenever you create some read replica, it does not give you the log of a specific time. Okay, it is just like a backup of the last recovery. So whenever you have to have a specific point in time, then you enable a binary logging. Okay, and in that way you get the exact specific time, like backup of that particular specific time. Okay, read replica is a last recovery, like last backup of the recovery. Okay, and that option, you can simply choose enable this and you will get a specific point in time backup. Okay. Okay guys, I am now concluding this particular topic. Anyone, any confusion before we move to diagnostic question? Okay, it's just like transactional log in SQL Server. Yeah, transactional for everything is transactional in Cloud SQL, whether it is MySQL, PostgreSQL, or SQL Server. Okay, now some optional links are also given here. Videos, reading, do check it out whenever you get some time. Okay, this will be very helpful for your preparation. Some of you have asked in the very beginning that do you recommend any books for this. So I don't read book, but yeah, definitely some podcast, some videos you can recommend. I can recommend you from here that you can go through. Okay. Okay, now we have 10 minutes left. We will utilize this to do some diagnostic questions. So I will now take a pause. You all have to help me in this first question. Okay. Other learning material or resource from this. Okay, I will guide you. Basically, you can just use the optional link. Okay. Okay. So this is a very easy question, but it is very lengthy. Okay, so in your exam you will get this kind of question. It is very easy, but it will take some time because there are multiple section, multiple parts. Then you will find the right answer. Think of the keyword that I always say. D. Okay, option D. Okay. Okay. Few answers I have got, but all of them are option number D. Okay. Okay. Option C. So definitely not A and B. Now, A and B have regional standard storage. C and D have multi-regional standard storage. Okay. So for some people who are not able to answer, let me give you the keyword here. This is your keyword. Okay. So 10 TB of immediate access to the US location. So entire US will be covered. How can you cover entire US? You have to select multi-region. Okay, definitely. Then 30 TB of storage, historic data, and you want to access it every 30 days. So first we've got to know that we have to go for a multi-regional. That's why I'm eliminating here option A and B because they are regional standard, regional standard. Now we are clear that C and D will be there because multi-regional standard, multi-regional standard. Okay, frequently accessed. So that part is clear. Now 30 TB of regional cold line storage and D is 30 TB of regional near line. Now you know that you have to access it every 30 days. Okay, then why option C? Cold line is for a quarter, right? Let's eliminate that. Option D will be correct. Another difference is that ingress charges on option D is egress charges. Okay, ingress is basically writing some data. So there is no cost on ingress charges. There is no ingress charges. It is no, there is no cost associated with ingress, but there are some cost associated with egress. Okay, so egress amount of data, some it is chargeable. Okay, so even if it says that ingress charges on the bucket, that is not applicable. But even if ingress or egress option is not there, you can still identify. So that is just to make you confused. You can still identify if it is entire US, then multi-region. If it is frequently used, then standard. If it is once in a month, then definitely nearline. Okay, so some of you have answered, but all of you are absolutely correct. Option D will be correct answer. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you. Perfect. Now let's move to the next question. D. Okay, what is the keyword here? Okay, D again. Specific OS. Perfect. Absolutely correct. Yes, yes. Perfect, guys. All of you are absolutely correct. If you have a very specific operating system dependencies, then you can go for compute engine. And in this question, you can also see Kubernetes is also one of the answer. And because it is also operating system dependencies, okay, I'm explaining you all of you. Now, first one is Cloud Run. Cloud Run is fully managed. It is fully serverless. Okay, so it is used for that kind of requirement when you don't want to create a cluster, when you don't want to manage it, you want to only focus on your code. So it is a platform as a service. Okay, App Engine and Cloud Run are platform as a service. You only deploy your code and like management of the operating system dependencies, not taking care on both of them are platform as a service. Kubernetes and compute engine are infrastructure as a service, and in the Kubernetes it is about containers. So microservices architecture is there, containerized application is there. You want to manage those container plus the operating system dependencies, then Kubernetes. But a normal application in which you are just creating a virtual machine and whatever database and all the other activity things you want to add, you can do it So that thing we are going for compute engine. Okay, so whenever you don't want to manage, then definitely Cloud Run and App Engine. But you want to manage, then Kubernetes and compute engine. Everyone is clear? Clear, Alok? Why not A? So I think in the next session, or maybe in the next session, we will learn about Kubernetes, Cloud Run, App Engine, Cloud Function, all of them together. Then maybe it will be more clear to you. Okay. But remember that whenever you want to only focus on the code, then go for Cloud Run. Okay. Perfect. Let's take one more question. B. Okay. Option D. So the question is about Symbol Superstore decide to pilot a cloud application. So application it is. So cloud function is, it manages a short executable function. It does not manage the container. It does not manage the whole application. It is only for a small function. So first thing that needs to be eliminated is cloud function. Okay. It is only for a function, not for the application. A, B, C. I think I'm getting mixed answer here. Initially, I got only B, A, C. Okay, so all of them are correct. Okay. In the last question, we understood that you want to manage the operating system dependencies. In this, you want to focus on the code, right? What is your keyword here? Focus on the code. Code needs to be flexible, like portable. If you want to focus on the code, definitely can we say compute engine will not be the correct one, because there you not only focus on the code, you focus on the infrastructure as well. You focus on the machine configuration, everything. It does not meet that criteria. Focus on the code. Okay. What else? Option number C is also Kubernetes, which I just now said that there also you manage the resources, you create the container, you manage the container. You not only focus on the code, you focus on the other aspects. So A and C are infrastructure as a service. So we are eliminating that. Option D is not infrastructure. It is a like platform as a service, but it is not for any application. Option D is the cloud run. It provides you serverless container management. You can only focus on the code. You can deploy your solution very easily. And because cloud run manages the container, and those container can be very easily like portable, you can send it to some other team member. That's why we can say option B will be correct. Any confusion on the explanation part, anyone? Anyone? No confusion? Okay. Remember about this thing. If it is about managing, just maintaining and focus on the code, definitely don't go for compute engine and Kubernetes. Okay. Time is up, but let's do one question before we wrap up today's session. And of course, there will be 5, 6, or 7 more questions will be there. Please do that. Okay. After the session, let's quickly do this. You will find this question in the deck, which will be shared to you. Okay. A, I think now you are getting it. This is your keyword. Highly customized Ubuntu versions, it means you are very specific. Just like Symbol Superstore supply chain, they were very specific about their operating system dependencies, right? So Compute Engine is a great choice whenever you want to migrate your traditional application and very less changes you want to do. And definitely it is a great choice when you are very specific with your operating system dependencies. Okay, I think we are good with this. Um, okay, time is up. Yeah, just one last question. Very easy question. Let's do it and we will wrap up. Very easy. C. Perfect. I think no explanation needed. Absolutely correct, guys. Very well done. Okay, I think we can now wrap up this session. There is actually a lot of other questions which I want to do, but due to some time constraint, I can't do it. Self-study resource, let me just check some of them, but all of them are already mentioned on the optional link which I have just now shared in the deck. Please go through that, and if that is not sufficient, let me know. Okay. Okay, guys, now I think you can just clap for yourself. You did very well in the diagnostic question part, and I'm like very happy with your performance. So just clap for yourself. Any confusion, anyone, before we wrap up? How was the session? Did you enjoy the session? Let me stop presenting. Any question? Anything that you did not understood? I hope my explanation was clear to all of you. Is there any technical question? Control plane. See, in the Kubernetes, when we will study in the next few sessions, there is a Kubernetes architecture. Basically, there is a control plane, there is a worker node. It is related to Kubernetes. Okay, there is a master plane, there is a worker plane, all of that. Okay, great. I hope that you all have enjoyed the session. Now we can wrap up. Please go through the diagnostic questions, and I will see you in the next session. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Minu. Thanks everyone for joining.